Hey Taurus, welcome to my channel. This is Venus Baby Tarot, and I'm just here to give you a message from Spirit today, and we're going to see what Spirit has to say for you. If you're looking for a personal session, you can book in my scheduler. The words are not coming to me. You can book on my scheduler in the description box below, and please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Oh my goodness, look, happiness was on the bottom of the deck when I went to go pick up the deck. That is so amazing. All right, Spirit, what do you have for Taurus today? You have forgiveness. You have inner peace. I'm being guided to get another one, so one more. And you have potential. Interesting. So I'm kind of actually getting the sense that like this forgiveness, it's interesting because it's kind of like, okay, so it's kind of like the thing that is keeping you from allowing things to unfold in your life has to do with a person that hurt you really severely. And you're needing to forgive this person because of the fact that it is, like, it's creating a blockage for you. And I don't mean, like, in terms of allowing this person back into your life. I mean that this is more, or a person that's in your life, it's kind of more like, it has to do with, it's blocking your potential. And it's like you kind of have to, I hate to say like, let it go, which is not, it's a lot easier said than done, obviously. Because of the fact that it's impeding your ability to embrace the potential of the new. The potential for me is, it sort of signifies a lot of the full light qualities, right? Because there's so much potential in the full. Let's get one of these Osho Zen tarots. Interesting. Okay, you have ripeness. So what I'm kind of getting for you right off the bat is that finding this inner peace, okay, that is where you get the whispers of wisdom. And ultimately, like, I'm not one of those people that likes to go, like, brazenly go around and tell people, to forgive others. Because, like I said, that's a lot easier said than done. There's some people it's really difficult to forgive them. Am I right? Like, it really is, But I think that ultimately, it's always important to try to find, like, what was my role in a situation and how it went down. Because the sooner I can get to understanding what my role was, the quicker I'm able to take myself out of the victim mindset and into taking responsibility for my own happiness, my own potential, my own growth, my own wisdom, my own experience, right? And I'm kind of getting that, like, how do I put this? Because I'm like, I can almost even hear people say, like, I don't have a victim mentality, and I totally understand that. But it's you either see life as happening to you or happening for you. There are some instances where we actually are victims, like, there really are, and those are the most challenging to forgive, honestly. And in those instances, I have found that reaching a point of indifference is helpful, and that's basically saying, like, I don't accept what that person did. I don't understand what that person did. I don't approve. Well, no, what I meant to say is I don't approve of what that person did, and I don't understand what that person did. And, I wouldn't do that to another person, but, accepting that that's who they are, and they did what they did for whatever reason you'll never really know, that I feel like is where you find peace. I'm trying to figure out if I'm explaining that well, to be honest with you. Because there have been, okay, so as an 8th house stellium, I have been betrayed by everyone. Everyone. Like, you know, the anti-hero video, Taylor Swift, and, you know, her other version is saying everyone will betray you. Man, that hit home. Like, it really did, because I was like, yeah, everyone, literally everyone. But you know what it did is it taught me a lot of wisdom. It taught me a lot of strength. And in addition to that, like, it showed me that people are who they are for whatever reason, you know, because of their set of issues, you know, that they come into this life with. And ultimately, it has nothing to do with me, you know, and it has nothing to do with you either, Taurus. What has to do with you is how long you stay, how you allow people to treat you, and how many times you allow your boundaries to be swayed, you know? And I'm getting the sense that, like, with this ripeness card, you know, that's the 9 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Pentacles is like, you know, when you are in a place that you're ripe and ready, you've taken care of yourself, you've learned to love yourself, you know, you're doing really good, you're in a good place in your life, and now you are ready to have that addition, that 10th pentacle in your life, right? And that's what I'm getting for you, Taurus. And I feel like you've reached this state of ripeness in your life where you've gained this wisdom, you've overcome some sadness, could have had to do with a feminine figure in your life. And it's like the last and final component for you is either to forgive somebody from the past or just become indifferent to it. Like, don't allow it to leak into your new experiences. Don't allow it to unfold into what has the potential to be so much more in your life, you know? And I think that a good example of that would be, you know, say you're like fresh out of college and, you know, you're really inspired, you're gung-ho about, you know, your career path, right? And you have somebody who's been, you know, shaking their finger at you and just saying, no, that's not the path for you. I don't think that you should do that. And they're just telling you all of these things that they think that you should do with your life. And they're filling you with so much self-doubt and making you question yourself and question your choices, question your own ideas for your own future, right? And because of that, it was like, you know, it became like this virus in your mind. And because apparently, like, this person really meant, like, their words really meant something to you, right? And because of that, you know, what unfolded was a series of circumstances in which you could have either sabotaged yourself or things did not work out as you had hoped that they would because of a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. Because in your mind, you believed what that person said so much, right? And this could be in all different types of experiences. I was just using, like, getting out of college and entering the career world as an example. But I mean, this could honestly have to do with relationships that you've gotten into, and somebody got in your mind and made you believe that that was going to fail, and because of it, it failed. Because of what that person said and the way that you took that on, it failed, right? Additionally, this could have to do with a relationship that you were in, and because somebody hurt you so badly, you know, you just believed, even on a subconscious level, that all relationships were going to end up just like that. And you use that person as the poster child for what you don't want, and you allow that to leak into all potential new experiences, right? And it is a self-protective mechanism, you know? And I think that we do that, obviously, because we don't want to go back to where we came from. And it's valid. It's totally valid to have that experience. But I'm just getting the sense that like there's something about seeing life as happening for you that is very important right now. Like, sorry, I had acid reflux. Like, if you wouldn't have gone through, a situation in the past, whatever this is for you, because it's a general reading, you wouldn't have gotten to the point where you learn to value your inner peace so much that you now are a changed person. You're feeling new. You're feeling more self-aware and open to new opportunities. And you wouldn't have this new opportunity that's coming to you if you hadn't been through what you went through. And while it was painful, and yes, it sucked, I hate to say there was a reason for it, because it's like, I definitely don't feel like we need to sit around and wonder like why everything happens, because seriously, sometimes we just don't know. Like really, we don't. There are some things that I look at happening in the world right now that I cannot even fathom the reason for, honestly. So I don't like to be one of those people that's just like, oh, it happened for a reason. So what I will say is that it was a domino effect. And that set in motion a train of circumstances that led you to this place of new potential. And now you have a lot more wisdom, a lot more experience, and a lot more knowledge about where you want to go and where you're trying, and who you are as a person, right? So let's go ahead and get some tarot cards out on the table. You have the Five of Swords. The thing about it is that I feel like because the Five of Swords is conflict, right? Then the Strength card, it's kind of like, how do I put it? You hang on so tightly to something because of the fact that it's like you want to be 10 steps ahead of that kind of experience, right? And so I don't feel like you're necessarily hanging on to a person or to a job or to whatever, like something somebody said to you anymore, so much as you're hanging on to the experience as a, I can't think of the words I'm trying to say right now. Because I don't want to... You're hanging on to the experience as... Oh my gosh, I cannot believe. Like, for some reason, I could not think of the word example. Like, that was just crazy to me. So I had to pause for a moment till it came to me. So you're hanging on to that experience as an example of what you don't want, okay? And it's fierce. I feel like it's very fierce. I really do. And I feel like because, look at this, you have the Strength card and the Emperor. Like, it's fierce. It really is. Because you want to stay in the boss energy. Like, it's like you want to remain in power over your own life. And I'm a manifestation girly, like, through and through. Absolutely. But, like, I also understand that there are a lot of things in life that we just simply cannot control. And sometimes we cannot control what other people do. We can set boundaries. We can have standards, but we cannot control them, right? We can set boundaries with people, and we cannot control the way that they react to our boundaries, right? And we can't control how they're going to treat us. We can't control whether or not a new job is going to end up the same way as an old job. But what we can do is carry in the wisdom of where we've been into a new opportunity in life and make better decisions for ourselves. And And I feel like that is what is requiring so much strength for you, is in the decision-making process. It's in the self-awareness. It's in catching yourself before you fall into the old familiar patterns, right? An example of this would be, I don't know why this just came to me, but like, so say you're the type of person at work, which I feel like a lot of Tauruses are, where, you know, like there are just really lazy people at work. I don't know why people call Taurus lazy. Like Taurus loves to chill, like no doubt. Taurus, like we have our chill zones and they are immaculate. Like you want to chill somewhere, come to a Taurus's house because we've got the setup, right? But like, you know, anyway, with the big TV and the snacks, you know, the comfy couch, like we've got the setup. But like, but when Taurus works, man, Taurus works. And that's just that, right? So say you're the type of person and you work, you know, at an office or in an environment with other people, and you've got lazy people who don't really ever do their job, or they do it half-ass, right? And you're the type of person that like overcompensates for the work that they're not doing because you're like in your mind thinking, well, nobody else is going to do it, so it may as well be me, right? And in the past, you've gotten really burned by that because you've been stressed out and people think that, you know, you're angry and they're like, oh, watch out for Taurus because Taurus gets so mad, right? But really, I don't think that you're mad. I think that you were just resentful because of the fact that you were doing everything. But I feel like now you have a lot more wisdom and you found a lot more inner peace, right? If this is in reference to work. And now you're just like in this flow state even where you're like, okay, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do what I need to do. And if things fall apart, that's not really on me unless I'm a manager or a supervisor. And even if, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like you've just reached a point where it's like, you're not overdoing it. You're not giving way too much and trying to like strive for all this approval and appreciation, because I feel like ultimately now, Taurus, you appreciate yourself, you know? But I'm getting the sense that like if you were burned by a previous job, like don't come into a new opportunity, this Ace of Pentacles potential, assuming that it's going to be the same. Don't come into a new relationship assuming that it's going to be the same, a new friendship. Just a new opportunity that comes in your life, right? Hang on to your boss energy, but don't do it so much that you have all of these like preconceived notions of how things are going to unfold and you're not really being in the flow state, right? Because honestly, sometimes it can be better than we think it's going to be. And so if we're just too fiercely protecting ourselves, you know, that can lead to self-sabotage. And I feel it's like you kind of have to learn to be a little more flexible, right? Just a little, not so rigid, you know, like it's like kind of like don't drop your guard entirely, but have just enough up that, you know, you're, how do I put that? Like okay, so it's like you're accountable, you're responsible, you've got your stuff taken care of, you've got your side of the street clean, but not expecting other people, other workers, other partners to be so perfect or so just on top of things so that you don't ever have to go through what you went through in the past. Because ultimately what you went through in the past was with human beings. And human beings are going to mess up. That's what we do. That's just what we do. You know, and like I used to have this huge issue with people who lied. Huge. And I still not a fan of it, okay? Because I'm a very honest person. Like, just, I'll tell you straight up, first date, this is me, right? And no problem. But like, I had a problem with that, you know? And one day it hit me. People lie because they're trying to control the way that you think about them. It has nothing to do with the other person. It has everything to do with their own insecurities. And that hit me, like it hit me. And I started to realize that like, it wasn't because people were intentionally trying to hurt me. It was because they wanted me to like them. You know what I mean? Do I like it? No, I can't. No, I'm still not a fan of the liars. But I understand now, like, the human experience and why people do the things that they do. People who cheat, ultimately, it's rooted in either commitment phobia, insecurity, a need for validation. Well, what's at the core of all that? You know, wanting to control their own sense of security, being afraid of security because of their upbringing. Like, maybe, you know, somebody from their upbringing, like, showed them, you know, like, was a safe person and then turned out to not be a safe person. And then that's why, you know what I mean? And so what I'm trying to say here is there's a whole lot of humanness. But what I get for you, Taurus, is that you see that, like, you get that, you understand that, you know, it's almost as if I've been trying to say this, like, Uranus and Taurus, man, shook us up. Like, it really did. It shook us up. And I've been telling everybody, like, Uranus is the great awakener, and I have been seeing it in Taurus readings. I started reading tarot, like, on YouTube and Instagram, like 4 years ago, I think. And I have seen in Taurus, like, this major shift. And it's very much a shift in terms of, like, really understanding the human condition, having a lot more compassion, not only for themselves, but for other people. But additionally, having, like, good boundaries and knowing how to stand up for themselves, but also not so much so that they're pushing everything away. Because I feel like ultimately Taurus, what I saw was Taurus was dealing with a lot of trust issues in the past, like a lot of trust issues. And because of that, they wanted to constantly control their environment. And you just can't do that. You can't control everything. And there was a lot of overthinking and a lot of sadness and a lot of just overwhelm, you know, and just like buckling down even more on trying to control things. And now that Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018, I'm seeing a little bit more flexibility, you know, a little more fluidity, a little more just going with whatever, you know, going where the wind takes you, right? Not being so deeply attached. But it seems as though, like, there's this little final little component here, you know, just this tiny little piece of the puzzle that I feel like is just requiring a little release from you. You see this person just like releasing. So here we go. We have this Emperor here and this Ace of Pentacles and the Star card, right? And the Star card is underneath this sadness. And this is healing, right? And this is taking your wisdom into new opportunities, new potential. And the Emperor is showing you a wise owl. Again, there's the wisdom. But what's really beautiful, I just noticed this. That Strength card has this snake on it. And I don't know which one of these cards wanted to come out, so we're going to take that. And this little mouse. And it's weird because normally, like, obviously, that's, you know, the predator and the prey. But that, they look almost, they're intrigued by each other. And I feel like that's a message for you in itself, is like being intrigued, like moving through life with a sense of curiosity, you know, just trying to find out more information, you know, instead of always wanting to be 10 steps ahead so that you can control it and keep yourself safe, right? You know what I mean? That Page of Wands was in reverse, so I have to take it. Okay, I knew the 10 of Pentacles was going to come out. I like actually felt it. I did. Ace of Pentacles right here. 6 of Wands underneath that. So, look at this. Look at this, Taurus. Can you see all your cards? Okay. Look at this right here. This cracks me up because you have the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords underneath forgiveness. You're kind of fighting tooth and nail about it. I really feel like you are. And honestly, like, somebody could want your forgiveness. Like, they're going to come into your life. They're going to want your forgiveness. And let me just go ahead and tell you, you are conflicted. You know, it's kind of like you want to fight, you know, like arms up, right? Like you want to go toe to toe with this person. And it's weird because I get the sense that, like, you understand why this person did the things that they did, or these people. You know, I feel like you understand, but you're still a little frustrated. I think maybe even a lot frustrated because you don't like the fact that they did what they did. You know they could have done better. But I feel like you know that they could have done better because you saw the potential in them, but they did not see the potential in themselves. And for those of you, this is not actually a person who's coming into your life. This is just an energy. And it is something for you to work out right now. You know, it's like having this sort of graceful energy with your enemy. Even though it sucks. And I get that. Sometimes it sucks. There are some people, like, from my childhood that I don't imagine ever really forgiving so much as just being indifferent. You know, I don't know why they did the things that they did. I don't know why they had to screw me up, like, all the way up into my early 30s with their behavior and the things that they did. I don't know why they had to do that. But what I do know now is I don't carry it with me anymore. Like, the things that they said to me and did to me and the way that they tore me down doesn't own who I am anymore. But it did for a long time. And because of that, I sabotaged anything and everything in my life. Because I owned their words as my truth for so long, right? And now it's weird because it's kind of like if one of those people in particular, and I won't go into my story too much, but I would see that person as the snake, right? If this person just popped in my life just all of a sudden, right? I think that I would embrace it with curiosity. You know, like, what's this about? Why do you want to talk to me? You know, but I would still see them. I'd be a little cautious and still see that person as a snake. Like, I would be willing to be fluid, but not too open to getting burned again, you know? And I get the sense that because the Chariot card is here, I love the Chariot because for me, that, how do I put it? It's like that sort of denotes a sense of self-value, self-understanding, a little divine intervention, honestly, a little more openness to what the universe has in store, you know? And sometimes there's a reason why these things surface or why people resurface or why, you know, we're having these flashbacks and memories of things from the past when we're embracing new potential. And I feel like the purpose that it serves has to do with something very spiritual, something very, you know, just karmic even. It's like there's something that you're supposed to see about it. It's the wisdom that you're supposed to have so you can carry that wisdom into the new experiences. It's kind of like it's the last stitch of your healing. And we're always healing, right? But in this area, like this is a specific area of your life. And it's like a final stitch for you, you know? Or, you know, like to your wound. With the Page of Wands in reverse, underneath the Emperor, I mean, the Page of Wands, there's excitement, there's fresh energy. It can be news, like receiving news, right? And I feel like on one hand, you could be blocking it. You know, maybe instead of taking or engaging in a conversation with somebody, you sort of deal with everything on your own, you know? But additionally, I'm kind of seeing it as blocking the potential to be excited about something new. It's like you have a chance to be excited, but instead of being excited about it, you're worried. You're worried because of what has happened in the past. And maybe there's some similarities. If there's a new lover here, there's similarities between a new person and a past person. And I feel like the reason why the wisdom card is here is because you have the chance to, instead of cutting and running because this person has their own human faults, and you are really kind of taking a time to find some balance and like center yourself about it. Because, you know, if you were going to repeat the cycles from the past, you would get caught up so quickly your head would be spinning, right? But I don't get that that's what's happening. If anything, I actually feel like there's a hard pause. And good for you, Taurus. There's a hard pause. And perhaps it is blocking the excitement a little bit. But also perhaps it's needed, you know? It's needed. Because you want to make sure you're not overlooking red flags. But you also want to make sure you're not so intently looking for them that you're going to sabotage what could be potentially a good thing, right? And that's why it's like you need the pause. You need to really understand like what you're feeling, where you're coming from, and why. And what I'm seeing here for you is like you take this pause and then you have this energy of Ace of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, the Star card. I feel like you're going to have the opportunity to either take your sorrow into your new experience, or you're going to be resilient and you're going to stand up, as wounded as you have been from the past, which we all are. I mean, I think that we're all wounded warriors, the 9 of Wands, right? I think we all are, right? Because we've all been through stuff, you know? But the wounded warrior, he's got his wounds. He is bandaged up. He's been sutured, right? But he's ready to go. He's ready to try again, you know, regardless. And so that's why there's so much resiliency. It's like braving a new day, even though yesterday was kind of rough, you know? And that's the thing. I always think about like days, you know, like how you can always start over. You know, like yesterday could have just absolutely sucked. Last week could have sucked. Last month could have sucked. But then you can totally have a really good day the next day, or a really good week, or a really good month and the next one. It's like yesterday doesn't really have to decide whether or not tomorrow or today is gonna suck, right? And I feel like you can apply that same wisdom into everything. You know? I feel like Spirit wants you to take a hard look at how far you've come with this Strength card and the Emperor. I feel like the universe wants you to really see what you've accomplished, who you've become, how strong you've become, what a boss you've become, how you've taken power in your own life, how you've decided your destiny, how you've braved a new day after everything that you've been through, how you've overcome sadness, sorrow, grief, loss, betrayal, and you've decided, I'm just going to keep going, you know? And now that you see that power, you get to know that no matter what happens with a new job, with a new person, with a new experience, you've still got you. And you're going to be okay. And maybe in the past you didn't feel like you had that. I mean, in the past you may have looked to other people, to support you or save you or uplift you. And at one point in time you finally realized, well, hell, the only person that's really ever going to pull me out of this is me. Because really nobody can save us. Nobody can stop us from our cycles and our patterns. Nobody can make us stop choosing the same type of person over and over and over again, or end up in the same scenarios over and over and over again. Only we can do that with a little divine intervention. Only us. We're the only ones that can really do that. And I feel like you did. Like I said, Uranus and Taurus, the Great Awakener. The universe woke you up, Taurus, and there was a reason for that. And I know it was challenging. I've been there. I'm a Taurus too. I get it. But you just got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and say, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep moving like this Chariot card. I'm going to find the strength to persevere and just keep going. But I think that the lesson here for you is how much you allow past experiences to keep you from being excited about things, and really asking yourself, how much are you projecting past experiences onto new experiences, and where that might lead you, because it could lead you here. It could lead you to being sad all over again. It could lead you to a self-fulfilling prophecy, because of an assumption that the past situation is going to happen again. So what if you assumed that it's going to be good this time? What if you assumed that it'll be better? What if you assumed that it'll be successful with the Six of Wands? What if you assumed that you will be successful? What if you assumed that you'll be loved and supported, and that people will show up and put in effort for you, and that you're going to look back at when you get to the end of the long game with this 10 of Pentacles, and you're going to look back at this potential and think to yourself, damn, I'm so glad that I decided to keep going. Because I feel like it's really important to dwell in the possibilities. If we dwell in the what ifs, we'll stay stuck there. We will live there in the what ifs, and they will own us. And we will sabotage over and over and over again because we're so worried about the what ifs. And it will keep us from being excited about life and new experiences. But if you lived in the possibilities, then you see possibilities. You see development. You see expansion. You see reasons to keep going, not reasons to give up. These freaking readings lately, I swear they've been like tarot P sessions from your friendly neighborhood tarotist. Anyway, so I think that I'm going to wrap that up for you. Now I'm going to get one more thing. So if you're looking for a personal session, down in the description box below. Oh my gosh, I knew it. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Oh my gosh. You have the Four of Pentacles, the Devil card, which says the miser and conditioning. One more. And letting go. We've talked about this before, so much that goes into why we do things in life and why we choose the type of people that we choose and why we settle into the types of dynamics and relationships and work and our friendships and everything has so much to do with our conditioning, right? What we were taught from our family of origin, right? And society at large. And I feel like you have this amazing opportunity in your life to see that for what it is and say, okay, that was my story, but it's not my story anymore. Because if you hang on to it with this miser card, you keep hanging on to feeling like you have to do something a certain way, then it just might repeat and lead you to sorrow. And I think a good example of that was like what I was talking about, like in the workspace. If you're taking on everybody else's job and you're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing, ultimately you are robbing them of the chance to grow, okay? And also robbing your bosses as from the chance to step up and do what they need to do. Okay, that's their job. That's not your job, right? Unless it is your job. But do you see what I mean? But like, what does that do to you? And who taught you growing up that you had to take care of everything? That you had to be on top of everything? You had to manage everything? That you had to sacrifice yourself and your sanity so that everything everything went along smoothly? You know? Who conditioned you to be like that? And why do you carry it into your experiences now? You know, if you're the type of person in relationships that just fights and puts in so much effort and is always trying to find a way to fix things and make everything go smoothly and be better, and you're just carrying all the weight in relationships. Why do you do that? Who taught you that? Who made you think that you had to work so hard for love? What if you let it go with this 8 of Cups, letting go, and decided that putting in a sufficient amount of effort is enough? Setting boundaries where you're considering your well-being is okay. And even if people don't like it, you don't have to feel bad about it, right? Because I feel like that's part of it. Maybe you didn't want people to be mad at you. Maybe you didn't want everything to fall on you. Maybe you felt like you were constantly driven by this need to fix everything and make everything go smoothly because of this because of this old wound, okay, in which somebody got mad at you every time you messed up or every time something wasn't perfect. And so it was so ingrained in you that you just had to keep working and working and working at something. And you've been moving through your life trying to get this approval, right? And so what happens if you just allow people to be mad? You allow things to fall apart that aren't your responsibility. You only take responsibility for what you need to. And if you want to do a little extra, it's because you have the energy to do so or because you actually want to do it. Not because you feel like you have to, because you're afraid somebody's going to get upset. Oh my gosh, sometimes these readings, I don't know, they just go so deep for me, and then I like leave the reading and I'm like, okay, I feel like I have to go journal. So take care of yourself, Taurus. I'm sending you so much love. I really am. This is a really pivotal time for you. I'm definitely seeing that. I just feel like so much has been coming up for Taurus that is really pushing your soul to just grow exponentially, like really stepping into wisdom. like finally understanding the complexities of you and of your life, all the intricacies of how things have or why things have happened the way that they have. It just astounds me. I'm over here cheering you on and simultaneously cheering myself on because I'm a Taurus. So that's what I have for you guys. I love you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.